First ride and Scrap Daddy. Good afternoon, all you wonderful, beautiful people out there. Today is a great day for no specific reason other than just it's another day to be alive. It's another day to live. And some people are not blessed with that, so just take that. If you're even having a bad day, just remember, such a cliche thing, but things could always be worse. So, you know, be positive. Good afternoon, what's going on, people? So let's get on with today's video. We're actually, I think Mr. Sendit, I'm walking around a lot, I know. Mr. Sendit, I think, is out driving the scrap truck right now. He cannot be reached via telephone, but I believe he was out driving, so we might see him later this afternoon. We might be getting back the first gen as well today, so that's what we're kind of waiting on. So in the meantime, I thought it might be a good idea to finish tearing apart this motor to get the rest of our P-pump swap stuff off of it, because I think we might be selling the P-pump. You can take your guesses as to maybe why that is, but the P-pump might be going goodbye. That's the whole reason why we really ventured out and got the POS Dodge, but we might be getting rid of the P-pump. We might be getting rid of that. So we're gonna get that stuff off, maybe list that up for sale. The engine though is John's though. That was John's spare engine, I guess you could say. But we need to get the rest of the stuff off of that. So first, if you want to remove a P-pump, this is going to be a good tutorial, kind of like how to remove a P-pump. Obviously, the engine is out of the truck, so it makes it a little bit easier to kind of show you guys some things. So that's what we're going to start off doing. So if you have not seen where we have already taken some of this apart, we already have the front cover off and the pump gear off. The pump gear was giving us quite a bit of problems. We had to heat that up and give that some vibration therapy to get that off. So other than that, the lines have been off and some of the bracketry, but we're actually taking the whole entire case off, so we need to basically pull the cam. So we're gonna be doing that as well. We're gonna gotta clear some of this stuff off, get it front and center for you guys. And the biggest thing is on these 12 valves, which I did not know, and when we took John's engine apart, really didn't know, is this case actually acts, and can't see it on this one because of all the built up crap. This case actually is part of the front oil pan seal here. So we need to actually hoist this battle area up and drain the oil out of it, because what we did on John's is we took the front part of the case off, which exposes the front part of the oil pan, and then all your oil goes absolutely everywhere, and we do not want to make a huge mess. So that is the first step. Let's get the day going, guys. Let's go. And speak of the devil, I can hear that thing whistling down from a mile away. Here she is. It's running, it's still alive. If you do not follow John on Instagram, he did post a picture earlier today, and as you can see, he has gone spray paint happy again, and he has just gone absolutely batshit crazy because he's got nothing else better to do but paint stuff, and holy smokes, look at this. Look at this lack of wiring over here. My goodness, this, you know what, we probably just increase the value on this truck, you know, just in the lume and the spray paint. Tenfold. Oh, this thing's like 25 grand at least right now.
I think rear seal's leaking, or the trans is leaking.
Oh, geez.
Just a little drip. I think.
No big deal.
I'm not crawling under that.
No big deal.
But,
NBD.
Yeah, something back there.
Oh, yeah.
Sweating horsepower.
Hi, Al.
Hiding.
The official weather report of today is it is humid and muggy, and it's definitely going to rain at some point. So, John needs. Is that on? Nope.
Don't go too high now. Let's go down more, and then that flippy's got to go in.
There we go. That one's good. Are you pumped?
Dude, I'll tell you what. This thing's got a lot more lead in its pencil. It drives real nice.
Does it?
Yeah, it doesn't really smoke nearly as... I mean...
It's got the small injectors, but...
We took a ton of fuel out of that pump, too. But it's just got.
Does it feel like it's right there?
It's just got a lot more butt, but donkey.
Or the front.
Donkey. You know? It's got a lot more ass. That's for sure. It's fresh. It feels good. Like,
feels good. It feels like it needs a healthy beating here soon.
Yes. Oh man, you heard me getting the little boost a little bit.
I shut the camera. I was in the garage. I had just done the opening clip, and I shut the camera off, and I heard the turbos, and I was like, "Oh, here it comes."
Yeah, that was the most I got into the throttle.
The throttle.
It's yeah. I'm
well,
just taking it easy, trying not to send it, and
you're on a send it schedule of
events. Yeah.
Schedule.
Yes.
Oh
take it
man.
easy for a little bit. See how she does.
We got the first retorque done on her.
Yeah. And then we'll go from there. I'll give it a little more juice out of the pump if I feel that it needs it. Should change the fuel filters too. Should do that.
Oh
Probably
yeah.
should put a fuel pressure gauge in the thing.
Yeah, that might help, John.
Fuel pressure helps a lot. It has a big deal to do with horsepower.
When things go boom and you got no gauges, you don't really know what happened.
I hear the fats going. It's good.
Running, it's good. All right, are we tearing down your spare motor here?
Well, yeah, I guess.
So this adapter plate came out of a 12 valve second gen, but with a NV4500 5-speed. Now, some of you guys said that this adapter plate is the same for a 12 valve automatic. If somebody out there is 1000% sure and could let me know in the comment section below, go ahead and do that. Also, for anyone wondering, that is what your rear main seal looks like. And this freeze out plug right here was what we were messing with yesterday. To run a coolant bypass, you basically knock out this freeze plug, which basically alleviates pressure, coolant pressure from the back of the engine here, which is kind of known to build up quite a bit here. So that's why it basically goes from this freeze out plug with a hose up to the top part of the thermostat to kind of bypass that. So hence the coolant bypass part of it. And there you go. We're just learning all kinds of things. Coolant temp sensor right here. Okay, let's set her back down and we'll start taking it apart. So once the pump gear is off the front, you do have 4 mounting studs with nuts on the back side as opposed to 3 with a V, 2 on each side. Gosh dang it, John. Besides the mounting studs and nuts, you have your return here. You have an oil line right here which needs to come off. And I think that's pretty much it besides the 2 10mm bolts, one here and one right down there. Those connect to the bracketry that we were showing you guys before that's right behind the vacuum pump that supports the pump from underneath back here. So we probably are going to undo the vacuum power steering pump as well. Get that out of the way because the case has got to come off, but for now we're going to go with the pump, then move to the vacuum pump. Power steering pump, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so we have all of the valve covers and the rockers off, and now we are ready to lift the tappets off of the cam like you've seen multiple times. We're not really ready to remove, well, we are ready to remove the cam. So the cam came up. These are your 1/2-inch dowels, and basically, as you can see, mine are not beveled enough, so they're going to go in the tappet a little bit hard. You definitely want to take your 1/2-inch dowel and bevel it on the end a little bit more. Taper it, bevel it. John, your phone! But we're gonna throw these down in there, tap them, and lift that up. So the dowels are now up. We got them zippy tied. Basically squeeze them together. We'll hold them up. They basically wedge. And now really the only thing that's holding in your cam is your cam retainer, which is two 10mm bolts right there. Once those are out, it'll slide right out. Because John has been too worried about painting parts on his truck, he forgot to tell me, and I'm inexperienced at this old second gen life here. So we got the dowels up, started to pull the cam, got the cam retainer out. It started to come a little bit out. I'm like, it feels like a lifter. I went back, I checked all the lifters again and the tappets. I'm like, well, this stuff is not coming out. John's like, I think there's fuel leaking over here. Well, these second gens got the lift pump on the side of the block. You can see there's a little plunger in here that rides on a cam lobe, and that's what actually creates your lift pump pressure. So had to undo that, and now the cam should come out, right, John? I don't know. So now that that's out, we should be good to go to pull the cam out now. Second time, third time's a charm, eh?
Hey Greg.
I should just put them outside in the rain.
What's the weather?
Yeah.
Greg, what's a local weather report?
Well guys, this old girl's been fighting us. But we haven't had this in a while, so I know you guys don't know what this looks like. But it's raining. Raining bad. Yeah, Johnny Hubcap's covering his hood stack up, don't you worry. We got Rye Guy's 4th gen. That's a good car wash, right, Rye?
Great car wash. Until the hail comes. That's one of that.
Yeah, the weather report is looking pretty doggone dangerous, let me tell you. John's hangry.
Ooh, thunders.
But the aftermath here. So one key thing that we forgot to mention and that nobody remembered about, when you are pulling a cam out, there is a good chance, maybe not a good chance, but a slight chance, and go figure here at the Greg A Garage, it happened. The rod angle at a certain degree here will be in the way of you spinning the camshaft, and it makes it very difficult to pull out. So make sure if you're having a hard time and you're having a hard time pulling out, yes, and your tappets are definitely all the way pulled up, try rotating the crank a little bit around and seeing if it makes it any easier for the cam to pull out. So that's ended up what we had to do. Yeah, I think I said that backwards, but we had to do that, but the cam finally did come back out. We slammed it back in, took our dowels out so the tappets can fall back down, even though the oil pan will be coming off to get used in some other project. But anyway, I believe that is it. We did take off the pump bracket supports over here and the oil lines that I will need to oil that said P-pump. And I think that's it. I think it's ready for the Johnny Send It garage now. If we need anything else, we'll just take a trip over there and grab it, but that is it. John's pretty much keeping everything as a spare, so nothing's really for sale. The rocker assemblies, we're kind of keeping everything for future projects. You know Johnny likes spares on spares, so.
Hoarder.
Hoarder.
I'm a hoarder.
Hoarder. So we say goodbye to one engine, and now we pull another one, and it can sit right there. Yay. Rip Greg's shop floor. Rip. Our last gauge did finally come in from the Mikey G Express delivery, our drive pressure gauge. So we have a 60-pound boost gauge and now a 60-pound back pressure gauge, just to make sure that Turbonetics charger on the 1st gen is in check with the fuel that we have.
What are you driving, a Ford?
Easy over there.
50 pounds of boost.
Smells like freedom. John, I like your floor mats.
Thank you.
Those are nice floor mats. Absorbent floor mats. First ride and Scrap Daddy.
Scrap truck 2.0.
Let's just be careful in the old girl. Don't pile her up.
Everybody's got 600 horse in the rain until you actually got 600 horse. And it's gonna suck.
Breathing on her, huh?
Big toe, SpongeBob, big toe.
Just this much. Just one bump?
You want to hit the bump up? No, that's this one. This is the nitrous.
Or the truck's rear.
Oops.
Foot slipped, officer.
I don't know what happened there.
Ossifer.
I swear the trunk up not got.
2 hours later.
Bye, John.
New procedure.
Bye, John. What's the new procedure?
It's my shut-off solenoid stuff.
Oh, your shut-off solenoid. Son of a gun.
Shut-off solenoid. Who needs them things anyway?
You want me to slam this?
Maybe.
Be safe. Put your seatbelt on. High five. High five.
Oh, high five.
High five.
That's a low five.
Whatever. Love you.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Run! Run! And just like that, we are wrapping up another video. The spare engine is finally apart. P-pump swap stuff finally off. That can go to John's house. We can make room for the 05 engine, which is going to be coming out very, very shortly. Big news though, first gen coming back tomorrow. I know a lot of you guys have been guessing where it is, where it hasn't been. Man, I can't talk tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, I really do. Hit that like button before you leave, subscribe if you have not already. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you.